Welcome back. Elementary 33, problem 1. Problem 1 is multiply these two radical expressions and write your answer in the simplest form. A square root c. Negative 3 root 3 times 8 root 5. Negative 3 root 3 times 8 square root 5. That is, multiply the whole numbers. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24 and multiply the radicals. Square root 3 times square root 5 is square root 15. Don't forget the square root. Square root 3 times square root 5 is square root 15. So A is the outer number, negative 24, and C is the radicand or the number inside. That's 15. Next, 5 square root 8 minus 5 square root 18. 5 square root 8 minus 5 square root 18. Notice 8 is 4 times 2. 18 is 9 times 2. So, square root of 4 is 2. Alright? Square root of 9 is 3. What remains inside is square root 2. What remains inside here is also square root 2. So I get 5 times 2, square root 4, that's 2, times square root 2 minus 5 times square root 9, that's 3, times square root 2. 5 times 2 is 10, square root 2 minus 15 square root 2. You see, now you may think of, so these are what are like radicals. You may think of this as some x is the same x here. So 10 radical 2 minus 15 radical 2 is 10 minus 15. That's negative 5 radical 2. So the outer number is negative 5 and the radicand is 2. Next, 7 square root 8 minus 9 square root 18. 7 square root 4 times 2 minus 9 times square root 9 times 2. Square root 4 is a 2. Square root 9 is a 3. In other words, 7 times 2 times radical 2 minus 9 times 3 times radical 2. So that's 14 radical 2 minus 9 times 3, 27 radical 2. Well, radical 2, radical 2. So these are like terms, like radicals. So I just combine 14 minus 27. That's negative 13 radical 2. Negative 13 and C is the radicand. Next, negative 7 square root 108 plus 3 square root 27 minus 5 square root 300. Negative 7 square root 108 plus 3 radical 27 minus 5 radical 300. 108 is 36 times 3. 27 is 9 times 3. 300 is 100 times 3. So notice how we have written the perfect squares first. When you come down, negative 7 square root 36 is 6. Square root 3 cannot be improved. Plus 3 times square root 9 is 3. Square root 3 cannot be improved. Minus 5 Square root 100 is 10. Square root 3 cannot be improved. So at this point, notice negative 7 times 6 is negative 42 square root 3 plus 3 times 3, 9 square root 3 minus 5 times 10, 50 square root 3. These are all like radicals. So combine the whole numbers. Negative 42 plus 9. Negative 33 square root 3. That's these two terms together. Minus 50 square root 3. The third term is still here. Negative 33 square root 3 minus 50 square root 3. Combine the whole parts. Negative 33 minus 50 is negative 83 square root 3. Negative 83 square root 3. Next. Square root 7 times square root 77 minus 2 square root 7. Square root 7 times square root 77 minus 2 square root 7. Notice square root 77 is 7 times 11 is 77. So square root 77 is square root 7, square root 11. In other words, I need to distribute this to both these terms. Square root 7 times square root 7, that's here, square root 11 minus 2, that's a whole number, square root 7 times square root 7, that's here. You see, radicals multiply with the radicands inside being multiplied. So this quantity is square root 49, square root 11 minus 2 square root 49. Square root 49 is 7. Square root 11 minus 2 times square root 49 is 7. So 7 radical 11 minus 14. That's here. Next. 3 square root 2 times 3 square root 12 plus 7 square root 6. So distribute 3 square root 2 times 3 square root 12 plus 3 square root 2 times 7 square root 6. That's simply distribution. Now multiply the whole parts in each term. 3 times 3 is 9. Multiply the radicals. Square root 2 times square root 12 is square root 24 plus 3 times 7 is 21. Square root 2 square root 6 is square root 12. 24 square root 24. 4 times 6. 12. 4 times 3. So 9 times square root 4 is a 2 times square root 6 plus 21 times square root 4 is a 2 square root 3. This gives me 18 square root 6 plus 42 square root 3. So 18. Oh, so they want the bigger one first, right? Bigger radicand first. So indeed 6 is bigger. So 18 is A, B is 6, C is 42 and D is 3. A, B, C, D. All right. Next. 1 minus 2 square root 10 power 2, the whole squared. So 1 minus 2 power square root 10, the whole power 2. That's, notice the power 2 applies to parenthesis. So the entire parenthesis has to be repeated. Don't forget, repeat the entire parenthesis. Now distribute, multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative 2 root 10 is negative 2 root 10. So we have distributed the 1. Now distribute the radical expression. Negative 2 radical 10 times 1. Negative 2 radical 10. Negative 2 radical 10 times negative 2 radical 10. Negative and a negative makes it positive. 2 times 2 is a 4. Radical 10, radical 10. This gives me 1 is 1. Notice these are like terms, square root 10, square root 10. Negative 2 and a negative 2. So that's negative 4 square root 10 plus 4 square root 10 times square root 10 is square root 100. 1 minus 4 square root 10 plus 4 square root 100 is a 10. 1 minus 4 square root 10 plus, that's a 40. So 40 plus 1 is 41. 41 minus 4 square root 10. Next.